Hi, I'm Mark Honerman, and I'm here to discuss this Spider Scribe lesson with you. This is a 7th grade world geography lesson with an emphasis on Germany itself as a country. The aspects of this Spider Scribe are going to be week-long lessons in all of the subject areas. The content availability and the content used within the Spider Scribe are such that it will require, at a minimum, a week-long lesson in each topic. The areas that we're going to be studying or not really studying, but looking at are social studies, language arts, math, music, art, drama, and science. And throughout this Spider Scribe, many of these areas do integrate and cross over into each other, therefore kind of enhancing the cross-curricular or intercurricular lessons, as you might want to call it. We're going to start with the language arts portion of it. The students are going to be introduced to the German language by having a short video shown to them of an individual speaking in German. From there, they're going to go into the processing phase, which is the students are going to learn basic German, and by basic I mean just, absolutely bare minimum. And we're going to use a website from there. It's actually a free online course that is available, and the students mainly with this are just going to practice word association and sentence structure to be able to put together sentences of their own. The mastery portion of this one is the students will be assessed on their ability to recognize and develop sentences from the basics of the German language, and there will be a written assessment on this that the students will need to develop sentences using the words written in German. We're going to move into the math section of it now, and the math portion is going to deal with the German currency, which in early days was known as the Deutschmark, but in recent years, I believe as late as the late 1990s, Germany dissolved the Deutschmark and adapted that of the euro, which is the more common for all of the European countries to be used as currency. What they're going to be learning in this is they're going to be learning exchange rates and the value of the German dollar versus the value of the US dollar, and the students are going to be tested on this, so to speak, as their abilities to develop problem solving or story problems and number sentences that can be used. For example, if they are planning a trip to Germany and they have been doing some research and find that certain items aren't any cheaper than, let's say, 200 euro, well, they're going to need to know how much US money they're going to have to be able to convert or exchange into that into the euros to make sure that they have enough cash. So that is also their assessment portion of it, I guess, if I haven't mentioned that already. Now we're going to dive into the music portion of it. Music in German is known as Volksmusik, and the students are going to be introduced with a brief video, nothing very long, but it's going to be something covering a traditional German folk tune, and it's a YouTube video that's one of the many that are out there. Then the process of this is going to be where the students will actually use available resources that they have, say Google on the PCs or even on the Mac versions. Safari is on Mac, but they're going to be using various search methods to look up and do some research on different polka tunes, and then they're going to incorporate GarageBand into the assignment portion of this and be able to create their own, I guess in a sense, polka mix of music that they will be able to play. And they're going to be needing at a minimum 3 different polka tunes. I don't personally know how many are out there, but I know there's quite a few to choose from. So they will be developing their own mix where they have to have at a minimum 3 different tunes put into this mix. And then the mastery portion of it, the assessment side, is they're going to be assessed on their completed polka jam session, created through GarageBand. And there's also going to be a rubric involved with this, so they have a good idea of what will need to be covered. And then art. Students are going to be introduced to a German artist by the name of Hertha Meisner, and she has, there's actually quite a bit of information about her and images of her that are available through Google, and a lot of her work is also displayed there. But the students are going to study the different works that she has done. Now, she is not just strictly one genre of art, one particular style or color theme or anything like that. She does quite a variety of work, but the students are going to use their prior knowledge of color harmonies and color theory and aspects like that to be able to identify the processes that Meisner uses in her works. And the mastery portion or the assessment portion of this, they're going to actually be able to look at various pieces of work from Meisner and be able to identify the color harmony that she is using in that. They're going to be able to identify, primary, secondary, and tertiary colors that are, the biggest part of an art project in itself. And this will be basically a matching type assessment. They'll have the pictures there to view, and they'll have a sheet of paper to be able to mark down what they believe or what they feel the correct answer is for that particular piece of art. Then we're going to go into drama. Now, I'm hoping that the drama section really treats them well and opens up their creative abilities and just lets them go crazy with what they want to do here. With the drama, we're actually going to be studying the famous people of Germany, which, by the way, there are a bunch of them. And we're not just talking the major war criminals like Hitler and all of those that are associated with him, but we're talking Albert Einstein and I can't even remember all of them now, but there's just a ton of them out there. And the students are going to be introduced to that and the various individuals in German history through a biography website that it's called biography.com, People Groups of German. And they're going to be able to view many different people and be able to pick the ones that are the one, excuse me, the one individual that they feel a good connection to, or that may pique their interest the highest. But what they're going to do is they're going to research that individual, and they're going to use whatever sources they can or whatever they feel they need to do the research on this person. And the culminating project is going to be a wax museum display that they're going to do. They will be required to be able to answer questions about the individual, if possible, talk like the individual, act like the individual, and let them take it as far as dressing like the individual that they have chosen. But the assessment portion is going to be based off of a rubric again, and it's going to be whatever their creativity and presentation skills have developed into the character that they're depicting. A traditional wax museum is a lifelike depiction of a certain person or animal, and a lot of information that goes along with that. And my hopes are that the students will be able to recreate as much as possible about those individuals that they study. Science aspect is going to be, I believe it's something that's going to make them really, really have fun and really want to learn it. The students are going to be introduced basically before they even get to the classroom. They're going to be able to smell fresh baked German pancakes and fresh baked German apple cake. In the process of this, now they're not going to get to sample it right away, but the processing portion is where the students will obtain the recipes for these particular items, and they will be required to convert the ingredients list, because the recipe that I have is currently printed in English measure, but the students will be required to convert that to metric measure and actually do an accurate and quality job of making these items after the conversion into the metric measuring system. Then the mastery portion is, I guess in the end they're going to get a sample of all the works that they've done, providing they are accurate on their measurements and their conversions, and they follow the directions that need to be followed, and the product comes out right. If their conversions are not right, you'll know that the product isn't up to par as far as taste and quality goes. But I guess it doesn't just stop at that. The students will end up doing a traditional science project, so to speak, with the recipes that they have and the ingredients that are a part of it. They're going to generate a hypothesis based on what they believe to be true, and the other part of the assessment portion is if their hypothesis is actually correct or not. So it's a good quality lesson and another cross-curricular lesson as well. The last portion that we're going to cover is the social studies side of it. The students are actually going to be introduced to Germany itself. Short video. We're going to use a short video that is going to cover some of the culture of Germany. Many more resources available, talking about and introducing the German culture, both of early Germany and just how it is now. Students are going to learn about the history of Germany, the culture of Germany, and one of the cultures that they're going to learn about, hopefully, is Oktoberfest and some of the other various traditions, so to speak, of Germany itself. They're going to be doing research as they have in other subject areas here, and the culminating project is going to be for them to create a poster. My vision is a 3-section poster board that they can develop with any pertinent information that they feel about Germany itself. If they choose to dive into, say, strictly the currency or the music or the artwork of Germany, the architecture, the economy, there is such a wide range that they can choose from. And they will be assessed on this through a rubric set up, and the quality and substantiality, so to speak, of the information that they put into their poster. It's another great quality project, and it integrates so much more. Now, where I mentioned earlier that a lot of these topics do intertwine with each other, the language arts is kind of, I guess you could say, a concrete or a cornerstone of learning, and especially of this Spider Scribe map. But language arts deals with, the reading, writing, speaking and listening, and the social studies aspect, where they're learning and doing research and writing reports about Germany, ties in with the language arts section. The science project itself is the hypothesis and the conversions into the metric side of things, and calculations involved with a recipe, goes back and associates with math. The drama side of it, again, there's a very strong connection with the drama and their famous individual to the language arts section, covering all of the topics: reading, writing, speaking, listening, and their general presentation. Art portion, again, they need to be doing some research on that, so they will be reading and writing information about that. And then there's a tie to the math side of that as well, with the color aspects and possible history of this author, and what some of her pieces may sell for or have sold for in the past. Music, again, language arts connection with the music. They will do reading and writing with the music side of things, and there's a connection with the music and the drama as well, and with the art. The colorfulness of the music that they choose has the tie with the art, and the quality of their polka mix that they develop is, could be something that they could use within their wax museum too, as kind of background noise, or not so much noise, but soothing, not soothing either, but I guess a background melody for an individual that is very strong in polka music. And again, the math, the ties with the science side of things, ties with the social studies aspect of it, the currency, the history of the currency, the language arts connection, and their their research and speaking and reading and writing and listening. Well, I guess not so much the listening side of it, but the other three are very good ties into the language arts. So I guess as you can see, this is a hopefully a well-rounded and good connectivity type of lesson that, as I said, is not a simple 1-day or 2-day lesson. This is going to be a long-term. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. It's not going to be long-term, but it's going to be at a minimum, a week long. So there is a lot of information to learn, a lot of information to share, and like I said, at a minimum, a 1 week long. This could easily stretch into 2 weeks if the collaborating teachers need to take some extra time. But there is so much to do and so much to research on that. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it makes a lot of sense for what this unit is about and the Spider Scribe map is about. So please enjoy and look at the map and judge for yourself the standards that join them and how the connections are made between the topics. So have a great day. Thanks.